So, hi again. It was not long ago. I wonder, part of me wants to maybe speak a little bit softer though. I don't want to whisper. But maybe I do. No, I don't want to whisper. I want to speak a little bit softer than I did the other day. And if I recall to keep doing that, I forget usually and then I get loud. Yeah, these images of the chakras and the correspondences with the tree of life, those parts. And as I've said, I don't know a whole lot about the Kabbalistic tree of life. It comes from Jewish mysticism, if you didn't know about that. And I'm very curious, more so now, because there seem to be a lot of ideas floating around. And I'm a little bit cold. I have to have a blanket wrapped around me, so How are you today? I also have this song in my mind again now. It was long ago. This shout, let it all out. Yeah. But I will talk about the chakras now, briefly. I don't really need to go through the super basic, right? But the root chakra there is about survival, safety, also sexuality, which also the second chakra, the sacrum, it says there, or sacral, it also corresponds with sexuality in a way, but the root anyways, or base chakra, also is about cleansing and where you pull up or get energy from the earth. So it's also where they say that the Kundalini snake is coiled 3.5 what do you say, circles, coils around, yeah. So this is about safety, very much basics, yeah. So when you start to work with Muneki, if you do, or any other actually native practices, usually also people work with drums or these things that really ground you, basic things like that. But then also working with the energy and the life energy in our Mother Earth and the connection with her, or Pachamama as it's called in Muneki. And it immediately connects it to everything, all that is living. So then we can start to understand our, what is this? Is this like there is a tractor or something blinking outside? I will just ignore it. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so that we can see also our part in this whole beautiful scenery, you can say, and that we have purpose in this, in co-creating and so on, also in the physical reality, and stewardship as well, as we talk about in Muneki. But it's very important, our experience of safety is very important, related to how we view ourselves and also our surroundings, of course. And it's a path I think no one have come here with all this maybe come here with all this open, but gradually things happen to everyone, so more or less. And I drink a little bit. I'm pausing for a second and coughing. Wait. So, yeah. So that we can see our part in this whole, that we are connected and everything, and understand those how things are interrelated in the physical world as well. And if we are able then to love ourselves as we are, then we can also embrace our feelings like connectedness, sexuality, true joy. Yeah. And it can be a path to heal these things or reach that point. But this chakra, in a way, it transmit, you can say, life energy to the body, and also it releases the things that the body does not need, or even the energy body does not need, so that the earth can transform that into useful energy and also give it back in that form to us. Whether we do it in an energetical form or physically. So, yeah, we are like trees, human beings. And you know this saying Jesus said, or actually it was not Jesus. He healed someone who was blind, if you recall. And the story says, and when he, I think he took some clay or something and did spit on it and put on his eyes, if I remember right. And then when he took it away, he said, I see people as trees walking. And one interpretation of that is that that person had got too much of a clear sight, so that they could see this Kabbalistic tree, let's say, the energy of a person. And anyways, we are like trees. We receive energy both from above and from beneath. The sun energy, or the energy from the heavens, through our crown chakra, and then the earth energy from the root, or through the root chakra. Yeah. I just saw this about the other day, about how to speak honestly, and public speaking and so on. And yeah, if I was really interested in a subject, probably maybe I could, not that I would do a good job, but that's something that I really would dislike to do. Anyways, you shouldn't say all the time was one of the advice there. But those that I hear, you know, when you listen to someone that have now I do this all the time, when they have I search for the English words, rehearsed so well, and every word is exact, and you see that it's the performance so much that totally cuts me off. Even when it's interesting information, if it's just perfectly done, I don't know, there's something with it that does not connect with me then. So, however brilliantly, let's say, manipulatively done, and I think certain tools are really great just to, when you, without intent, get the opposing response than what you would wish for, or you send out signals that are contrary to what you would want to send out. It's good to learn some techniques, I'm sure. But yeah, as with love, for example, would be good to follow some techniques and not do your own silly thing all the time. That never works well. Okay. Yeah, it could work well for some people. Okay. Yeah. So anything that connects you with Mother Earth anyways is healing for this root chakra. And so it's very, very important for those who have certain issues or scars regarding safety or security or trust issues and so. And depending on how severe they are, the more you need to actually get rooted in the physical. And I have been not doing that as much as I should have. I've started to exercise. Now Christmas break, kind of prison break, you know. Yeah. I did stray now, but still I have a path that works. I feel that I actually do. My level of fitness was so low, so there weren't even any suggestions of how you can exercise on that low level really out there to find. So it was very discouraging. Now I start to speak even louder. And yeah, but when I started now to do a few exercises totally on my level, and with even things like, you know, push-ups against the wall to begin with, because I had no strength in my arms. Not that it's much now, but it's way better. And yeah. It would have been so good if I would have connected to my body before, much more before. But I've used also my body, like in many ways, but also with eating is like a physical thing. You can, I mean, various things. I've just used them to numb my body mostly, or to shut off. Maybe not my body as much as my emotions, but they are very strongly connected, obviously, to the body. So, yeah, I think my path to gradually get to this point where I actually am more physical than I used to be have been through energy work. I was not grounded, let's just say. So, and if I would have known or understood these things better, or taken time to really understand them, I probably would have seen that this is the issue, here is where I need to do the work, to feel more safe, you know, to be more courageous. And life itself have pushed me where I have been, have had to meet so much of my fears, so that I can't say that most of it's gone. I'm not sure if I lie to myself if I say that, but a lot is gone. I see in behaviors that it's not all gone, but I don't feel fear. I don't have any fears that I think of, which is very cool. I mean, it's very calm and relaxing to be that way. But then again, I see that I act opposed to my best interest sometimes. That is harming to me. Not that my intent is to harm, myself. But then I see that there is a sort of a glitch there. It's something that I probably try to numb or do that when I don't feel safe. So I'm getting there to the understanding of that too. But I think, yeah, mainly it's to work with the root chakra. That would be great then. And that is obviously what I have avoided the most. Even just practical physical things. And that is probably also why I love do this other spiritual kind of work, because there I feel totally safe. Always did. So yeah, so it's rather interesting to me when people fear that, because that's really not too scary. Yeah, unless you have a psychosis then. And everything is chaotic. That's worse than everything, I guess. But if you gradually, consciously open up these things, there's nothing to fear there. So I won't talk about myself now in each of these chakras. That was not the point. And I won't even talk about the connection. I just keep this image open. Or up, I mean. Yeah. But it's interesting anyways to be more and more landed in my body and in the physical. Now when it's getting gradually, I mean, it's good that I come into it before I'm going to leave here, at least. But I think I will stay for quite a long time though. But still, I mean, yeah, I really, I'm not even hesitated, but I have resisted. I've fought not to be too connected to my body. Yeah. In all kinds of ways. Have had this kind of protection measures going on that didn't really, well, at the time maybe they did help. I don't know. I'm here still, so. Okay, moving to the next one, the sacral, which is, maybe I didn't say where this root chakra is, but it's some say at the end of the spine, but also between the anus and the genitals. That's where the root chakra is located in the body, and the sacral chakra is then around the navel, or actually a little bit beneath the navel. And that is creativity, manifestation, joy. It's also the key if you have been doing Tai Chi or Qigong or Qigong, maybe say, yeah, or stuff. Where you work with this creative force, which also is the sexual force or energy. Yeah, but you can feel it. I can feel it extremely well. Something was really messed up in this chakra for me when I had a psychosis when I was around 20. It was so open and so vulnerable, this chakra, for a long, long time. I can exactly feel where it is all the time. And when you work with, but it was very, very sensitive. Like as if someone was even close to that area, I cringed. I mean, I was actually terrified, to be honest, if someone was even close to that physical area of the second chakra. It was so discomforting, or I can't remember how I felt then. I don't want to think about that. But it was almost like there was this opening. I won't go into the psychosis, but it happened things in that process that was related to that fact, actually. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, in this area, we find the center of ourselves, and also in Munaki, it's where we have our. Actually, maybe you would consider it more at where the like a little bit maybe above where the belly is. Depends. It differs actually where this exactly is located. The center that you use to digest heavy energy in when you work with Munaki. So it's rather the next chakra probably. Anyways. Yeah, so you can store energy here. It's like storage and you can experience a deep inner balance in this chakra, as well as so much unbalance if that's the case. But if you use this energy center, this creativity center, connected to focus and conscious thought, the presence there, these combinations, then you have really strong creative ability to manifest what you want. And to make things or your intentions come into reality. So, and you know, these Japanese masters and so on, that those train their ki force. Yeah. So, also it's connected to dreaming our life or reality into being. It constantly goes on, whether or not we are consciously aware of that. We do. And I guess you can say that these first chakras, even the navel chakra or solar plexus, they sometimes functions more on a subconscious level. So we can wake these centers or chakras, they wake up in various ways, but we can also become very conscious of them. So we learn how to work with that energy. Yeah. So, and we also can restrain this energy if we use very tight clothes or belts or something, or pull our stomach in too much and so on, to look thin or so on, fashionable. It disturbs this center and our ki, or shi. I like to say you can say instead, it sounds better, right? Yeah. And then I continue to say yeah. So, and also they are also connected, obviously. So if you have a strong root chakra or base chakra, it gives much support to this second chakra and our own personal power. So if you had a weaker root chakra or trust or zone that you come from, then you don't have that extra added to this your personal energy or power. It doesn't mean that you can't develop it also by yourself, and sometimes even maybe probably more to balance that up. But you also sooner or later will have to heal and work on those things in the root chakra as well. Otherwise it will show in addictions in whatever ways. So that something isn't dealt with. So yeah. And also here is where the ovaries is, and where around this area, and where new life start. So here is so much joy and satisfaction and satisfaction in creation. And if you work with crystals or would like to work with them, you should really check it out thoroughly then, I think, to really be clear on how to. Iris Hall have good books, I think she's called, yeah, about that, for example. But you can use crystals, like an orange colored crystal on this area, but be sure to cleanse those crystals as well. Also beforehand and after you've worked with an area. But also you can visualize how this energy the color of this energy, you can visualize it going through the crystal and into the body, and also how you feel this whole area with this orange colored light, and also meanwhile feeling how you become more and more powerful is one way. There are many ways. So we are at the third solar plexus, or here it says navel chakra, and that is gold or yellow. And it's where the rib cage, in between where they meet, they're like a space, yeah, at the upper part, yeah, you understand. So right beneath the chest. So, and that's the center for emotions, control, and also intuition in many ways. Where you talk about gut feeling and so on. So our body is very wise, and it can always interpret and know what is in harmony with what we really need. Unless we have disconnected or very much or very intoxicated by things, then also we start to feel as if we need those things that mirrors the imbalance that we already have. So but in this solar plexus is where we know what is right, even when the intellect may have a different opinion about it. So, and here is also where we process our experiences through the body. And we process also signals, whether they are outspoken or not, signals we get from people around us and so on. Here is where we digest it. So, and if we have strong emotions that for some reason or another, or feelings that can't be expressed in a certain situation, that can become like those emotions can be sort of trapped in the body and stored. We may have forgotten it, but it's there. The body remembers it and stores it. And in solar plexus is where we are most vulnerable in that sense. So yeah. So it can be good to tune into and feel how you can visualize or what you can do to not have that particular chakra too open in every situation, or when you are around harsh energies or destructive energies, to like be self-protective, you could say. And you can then, for example, visualize yellow bright light in front of the solar plexus, and also think that you are protected, that there is kind of a shield, that nothing can come through that isn't good for you. Yeah, among many other ways you can do. And this yellow color overall is very protective and also stimulates mental clarity. So yeah. And some natives, or in Indian tribes actually, Native American tribes, to regain their emotional balance, they go out in nature and choose a suitable rock, whichever. Then they tie that to around solar plexus with a piece of fabric or a cloth or something, or a belt or something. And then they carry this rock until they feel that they have regained a good contact with their emotions and Mother Earth. So if you feel fear around this area or something, you can do that if you want to, or whatever strong emotion it is. Just try it out if you want. And you can also try to mentally fill all of your belly with golden colored light. Yeah. Then the fear won't have any space to linger there anymore. So, and then the heart chakra. It's in the middle of the chest, where that's where it is. Where, although the actual heart is not at the center there, but it's in the similar. What to say? Yeah, it's at the level of the heart, but in the middle, in the center of the chest. So that is about universal love, peace, harmony, compassion, generosity, and so on. Open-hearted is sometimes not a good thing, though. Usually, generally, with all the chakras, the more energy that flows, the better. And probably also with this, but I don't. Sometimes I see people, also with myself sometimes, but also those around, how they people. It depends on the balance actually. If every other chakra also were open and the energy was flowing, then it could be a good thing. But especially women, many times do have quite open heart chakras. It's not always the case just because you're a woman, but I've never actually so far met any man like that. But then if you just give and give, it's like being very generous as well, having the open heart. They get drained, and sometimes not respected, or It's not the best thing to always have a very open heart in all occasions. Easily understood, actually, but still I keep doing that mistake. Anyway, but it's still the most valuable thing a person can have. If you can find a way to also work through or heal those other maybe issues that's there. It's a happiness. That's why I always go there again and again. It's because it's kind of my happy place. I get really, really happy when I have an open heart. And I seek those people, those few that I feel that I want to have my heart very open. I would want to all the time, but it's not possible because sometimes others don't really want that. And also, maybe I don't trust enough to even be able to open my heart. But it's lovely to feel that, even if it doesn't mean all that much to the other person or so, it still makes you happy. So, yeah. And alongside with it comes all this compassion and all that. And also working as a medium and those kinds of things. You really need to then. Because there's sometimes those who ask me for readings that I quite dislike, actually, on a more individual, human, personal level. But the moment I do readings for them, I have to dismiss all of that. I cannot have any judgmental ideas about them and do reading at the same time. Because I wouldn't pick up accurately the information, and it's just wrong. So I have to dismiss everything that I would just be that universal love, And that's really awesome to be able to do that. So far, I think I can do that with anyone. When I go into working with these things, I totally disconnect from my own ideas about the person or so on. I go into a different kind of mode. So, yeah, that I've only the other person's best is the only intent I keep for what I do. So, and when it comes to the heart chakra, you may have heard this whole that fear or love is like the only options here. So if we have that love and peace, we can't have fear and like enemies and stuff. They exclude each other. And it's also a choice. What kind of energy do I really want to have in my life? So it can be a good thing to think about now for this new decade to come, right? And yeah, and it's harder when you yourself feel bad to be loving towards others. So you need to also be very self-loving to be able to give. And as this Buddhist saying is that if your compassion does not include yourself, it's not complete. We have to include ourselves also. Then I guess it can be however open, and it's good for us though. Yeah. And if then our root chakra and solar plexus, root chakra and sacral chakra first, if they are in good balance, then we naturally dare to open our hearts with others. It's way harder if those other chakras haven't gotten all the nourishment they needed, let's say. So So, and the color of the heart chakra is green, and this is like the first warm part. Or actually it's a synthesizes, with in this between these colors, the scale of colors, the first, second and third is this warm, and the fifth, sixth and seventh chakras have those cold colors. So the heart chakra is where all these energies meet and are combined and integrated, those feminine and masculine energies. So we receive energy from Mother Earth and from Father Sky, and they both give, or Father Sun, they both give their energy in various forms, in different forms. And in the heart chakra also there is where we have our arms stretching out from that area, and so that's also where we express what we have received after it have become our personal unique expression through our personality. So, and that unconditional love without expecting anything in return or as a reward comes also from that connection to these universal forces that constantly shower us with all that love. If we get aware of our connection to everything else, then we won't feel as if we get deprived or so on. So, because love is so important, and without it we get sick, and tiny babies don't even survive without it. So yeah. And also in nature we see this green, how it's like all this love all over the place. Yeah, it's there constantly with its unconditional love for us. So, and if you have some fear or sadness in your heart, it can be a good thing to carry rosen quartz. I also find it very, very helpful when I want to not be influenced by others' negativity. I think it is connected to self-love, but that's how I've used rose quartz mainly. Quite a huge chunk. I used to, if I carry that around, I feel much more centered, and I constantly stay connected to my own love for myself and don't get out of phase with that. No matter what others' moods are or how they behave towards me or whatnot. If I don't have that, I can more easily maybe give back a little bit or get anxious or stressed about others' feelings or behaviors or so. And I can just keep that, my own vibe and balance, calm with the rose quartz. So, and you can also, whether you have such a crystal or not, you can also just feel that you breathe this, you breathe in this rose-colored, comforting, loving energy into you. So, and then we have the throat chakra, and that's like turquoise blue. And depending on who you ask, there are many. Some say that the thymus chakra is like beneath the heart, and throat actually does have that color. But anyways, it doesn't really. You may see colors after a while, or you may tune into where exactly it's located and so on, and you will find your connection clearer and clearer if you work with it. So you will know, for your safe. I mean, not for your sake, yeah, for your sake, but for yourself. What I was going to say, and yeah, and the way you work with it the best, So it doesn't matter that everyone does not agree exactly on every detail. So, but the throat chakra have to do with. It's located, by the way. There is a little. It goes like in. Just before the. How can you say? Just before the, or if you think about where the, how to explain this, if you have had an Adam's apple, beneath that there is like a, before the neck itself, like there is like a, you can put your thumb there. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Anyways, there is the whole throat chakra. You can feel it all over the neck. Is that the back of the, I mean the front, it says, yeah, the throat maybe it's called, yeah, well, anyways, you can feel it all over, but the chakra itself is mainly seen as located right beneath the whole throat, yeah. So to express yourself with a voice, of course it have to do with, but also to freely express your inner truth. If you don't feel that you can do that, then maybe you will start to have some coughing and stuff like that. Yeah. I can relate somewhat. But it have to do with like expressing what you have in your heart, actually. That balance. So to speak, even writing actually, but also singing, shouting, or noises, sounds, I mean, that we can transmit in various ways what we think and what we feel. And also listening is actually connected to this chakra. Yeah, it have such a powerful creative energy to express yourself through the voice. So it's good to think about using it lovingly and not harm others. But sometimes it's very, very hard to hold those back, I know. Yeah. So we all have a need to express love, feelings like love, in various ways. And so gentleness, compassion, but also sadness or sorrow or anger or disappointment. We have to accept and embrace all we are and find those safe places where we can be fully ourselves and express ourselves. And to receive someone else fully as they are is probably the most loving thing we can ever do. Yeah, so the voice is a gift, a resource, and we have lots of possibilities related to that chakra. And it's also this gateway. It have to do with cleansing as well. You know, it's like a narrow path here before the upper chakras, or before the lowers, depending from what angle you come with the energy or look at it. Yeah, but it's with the voice we can express our highest, true, and purest love as well. We don't have to have it captured in words exactly, but the voice itself also. Words really means a lot, and yeah, I adore those who value words I know that they are just words themselves, are symbols for something. So in fact they cannot totally truly capture the whatever they are pointing at, like the finger pointing at the moon. But the more accurate we try to at least express what is our truth, that is very powerful. And for someone like me who had this basic lack of trust from very early years, that actually is crucial to me. It's totally needed that people mean what they say and are what they are, so to speak. If not, that becomes meaningless to me. That's almost like there is no substance there, there is no reality there. And then also the person itself almost fade away, becomes more unreal, or at least untangible. What is it? Intangible? No, I don't know what the word is, but you can't really grasp who is this if they never speak their truth. Who do you know who they are? Or how do you know, who they are? And so when someone are truthful, whether it is with their silence sometimes or with when they choose their words, that's something I totally fall for. And it doesn't happen often that you come across that, though. People generally don't treat words as gems or as powerful or meaningful or like jewels, treasures, but they are. So yeah, and I have a lot to do to not use my voice in destructive manners as well, because I do know, working with magic and everything, I know that it has some strength when your energy and everything is there, and you also express it with words. And sometimes I can be very destructive, and not able really to hold that back, just by myself or so. But still, it's like cursing. You direct that towards someone, and knowing that I should totally keep redirect that or find a way to heal that. And I'm practicing. I'm on my way. I'm not there yet. I'm not consciously trying to curse someone. It's just that I know that it in effect I believe that energy actually influence. So whatever thoughts I do have about someone influence also them, mostly myself, of course, whatever thoughts I carry. But so it would be much more beneficial to myself if I could find a way to still be truthful, though, but find a way to see with understanding or love or compassion or however. Just the fact to understand that others don't have that capacity or that level of consciousness that you may want them to have or even expect from them. To realize that that's not the case is like it's a release. Then you can see it for what it is. It's difficult still sometimes when people behave in bad ways. And but I know that's the only way to go. And I'm not always there. Yeah. So, because also the other way around is true. It's really blessings then if you find the way towards yourself most of all, but also you can also really create much more health for others and well-being, both physically and in emotional and soul level. Yeah, from the space of love, when you express yourself harmoniously or so. I express love even in a disharmonious way, without like I don't know, chaotically. This energy flow is not harmonious. It's like, I don't know, but it comes from a place of love though. But I think it's better if you find a better balance there too. I mean, yeah. But also, if we have fear or guilt or even whatever strong emotions, it's better to let it out somehow than to try to hold it in or block it, because then it will still keep it will stay active and also turn against ourselves and create imbalances. So it's very important not to dismiss what is true and is there. Also, I've had this idea, but I think it's I still believe that, but it's a balance though. I mean, I want to grow, and I can't stay in a sort of an infant accusing level to everything. That's idiotic, actually. So I know I have to work my way through from that, because that doesn't get me anywhere. So, but also I do think that there is a healing in everything that is real and that is honest. And so, whatever you express that is true, even though it feels painful sometimes or may hurt, it's not harmful. It's rather the opposite. It cleanses away stuff. Yeah, but it's powerful still. And yeah, I don't know. God, how far along have I talked now again? I will just tune in a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if you have contact with your spirit guides, but I have some various kinds of guides, also ancestors and this and that, and totems and various kinds. But there is one universal guide that I have that is very like total love, and I guess that's what I want to learn. I mean, yeah, it's possible, and I do have that energy around. Yeah. So that's what I aim for. Yeah. And also in communication, we can build bridges, even when we don't understand. There is so much that I recently, as I told about, I haven't really exactly mentioned what, but some of you know since you've listened to my videos. But there are certain things that have been so absolutely opposite to how I've seen it, that I discovered is so, as far as I understand things anyways, and that have been really very half shocking and surprising. And without communication, I would never have understood any of that. That would have been totally nuts to me, the things that I have understood now. And still there, I don't express it a lot because I realize others would think that I am, that I don't understand what I talk about, or so. Yeah, so still the communication overall related to the throat chakra is very important to raise the consciousness as a whole, the awareness of the humanity. So we need to communicate. Yeah. Also to build bridges, not only in between ourselves here now, but also when it comes to what have been in the past and so on, and what is to come. And so, yeah. So there is a lot of wisdom to pick up from both, let's say, elders or those who have gone before us in that sense, and that are still around maybe, but also from older traditions. We don't have to be confined or limited by those, but they have a lot of things to share. If nothing else, it tells a whole lot about where our consciousnesses were at the time, and how we saw things, or how they who lived then saw things. And then we can find better understanding maybe for things also. Yeah. So, yeah. And also the yoik, for example, our Sami tradition. I don't know how exactly, but sort of I have it naturally also. Sometimes I like to do that. Very seldom though. But it's something with that. It's magical. The expression of the voice in singing that aren't exactly like singing as normal songs with words like that. But it's a different communication. And however you do it, it's very healing. And just to express your joy or whatever you feel, or your creativity and so on. Yeah, you should sing every day. However it sounds, yeah. Oh, I just long for someone that I assume does not long for me so much, right? But okay, I will keep talking about chakras then for now. And then we have the third eye, or the what are they? Is it called also the forehead chakra? No, I don't know, whatever it's called, if it have another name. But anyways, the third eye, it's most common, with the indigo color. It's in between the eyebrows, but a little bit up. You can almost always feel those. You can feel where it is with your thumb or with your finger, kind of. Also has to do with the throat, yeah. But it's inside, in the center of the head, though. Yeah. Yeah. That represent intuition, inner seeing, and cosmic consciousness. So that you have this divine wisdom inside of you. You are God. And you realize it. Yeah. So indigo blue, like the darkest of all these chakra colors, actually. It's deep and secret, like the sky, sort of. So when we close our eyes, the other two eyes, and close our doors to the outer reality, then there is a inner rich world that opens up, where everything is possible. And to access that world is so amazing. It's so amazing, and you can never be bored, and never born, actually, also because you always live. But I don't think in many cases in my life that I can recall that I have been bored, and I had this connection all the time to my inner rich world. And then it's quite impossible. I mean, like, I just changed the words. Yeah, it's just always there also. You cannot not have it with you. It's very entertaining. If not, it's just also very, very interesting, and you can communicate, and everything awesome can happen. But I think you can lose touch with this a bit if you have too much of television, too much of the net, too much also activities overall, and no so-called boring time. You need to tune into your inner world, find some space to do that, to realize that door is there, that opening is there. And there we are not limited or bound to this reality, this physical, or limited by time and space, but we can move freely through dimensions. Awesome. That's just awesome. That's where I like to be. To linger, but I still want to be in this physical. And that's like, and that when I started with Wicca, and that was some years after I had my psychosis, and then it took some years after that before I had totally physically landed, in the sense that the outer reality was not transparent, but I got more and more grounded, and I used much of the techniques that others used to. I've said this many times, but I repeat it. Others use them to access these inner worlds, let's say, or dimensions. While I also discovered a lot of that, it was more that I discovered how to come back. For each time that I had journeyed or done something like that, I grounded myself much more in the body. Each time I came back more, or like landed in my body in a more solid way. And so it was really healing, and that was most actually what I got out of it, I think. That I became more... I accessed my body more. Before I felt like I existed right beside or outside of the body, right above, actually. To the left. I felt like there was my consciousness. And I was rarely afraid also then, because I was never... I was inaccessible, untouchable. No one could reach me, actually, fully. And then when I gradually entered more and more into my body, also being at the anorexia center and stopping for quite some time, misusing or eating addictively, and so then I got even more grounded in my body, and then I started to fear, because I knew that I couldn't escape quickly if something happened. I was really, when I was out walking and met someone far away coming towards me, I thought, what would I do if they just attacked me or anything, Although people wouldn't generally do that if they're just out walking. But I wasn't afraid of them exactly, but I was afraid that I couldn't suddenly just escape my body, because I was so grounded in it now. So that was scary. I before I was already safe, let's say, because I wasn't totally attached to my body, but not in it, kind of thing. Yeah, you can say. What was it? Was it something else I wanted to say about that? I don't know. Yeah, but now I really want to explore my lower chakras. I really want to. It's fear there still. I know that I push away the things I long for because I fear so freaking much still. I have accepted so much, and I'm so much more here, let's say, now than ever. But also I want to experience all that fully, and to embrace that and invite that, and even if I would want to do that with someone which I want, then yeah, I don't know. I can't say that. There is various possibilities and opportunities in life. Who knows? But I think there is not many people that I could even consider sharing that with, because it takes. I really demand. I don't demand much, but what I demand, I do demand much of, like being real and not being fake. And that's difficult because we sometimes just fake towards ourselves. And I don't mean that I expect anyone to be less than human and have their flaws or whatever, and unawareness and so on. Of course, that would probably be the case. But at least the things we are conscious of I wanted to be someone that is honest. And I know it sounds like that would be possible, like to find, but it's very rare. It's very rare with people who are authentic to the degree that I demand. And that must be so much so that they don't betray themselves, so much so that they will stay true to themselves, even if all of society or everyone else would turn their back. You know, it must be that kind of passion for what's real, that genuinity, or how you say, yeah, that is what it takes for me to even want to invite someone to explore those areas with me. So yeah, where are those? Maybe there is one. Let's hope that one would want me then. Otherwise it sucks. I have to explore myself, as almost said. But I mean, yeah, we will see whatever life does. Life is funny. And also the more safe I get, maybe I don't care all that much about how others are and whatnot, and just focus on enjoying my stay here. You know, I don't know about that, but as it feels now, that's where I am. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, also we need to be able to access this that everyone have. It's not, even if you haven't experienced it much, or if you have, we all have it to a degree that is unlimited. It's just we spread our energies in various directions, so maybe we don't focus too much on that, but it's always there. It's nothing that is lacking from someone. But to access this world of wisdom, this inner world of seeing, we also need to calm our everyday thoughts, because if we think all the time in this mental noise, that it becomes an addiction in itself, and it just takes over, and we think we need to figure everything out, and we just have all the truth there, but we don't ever calm down so that we hear it even. So it's not that the thoughts need to be stopped, but need to be, we need to have some distance to them and check them a little bit, just to realize that they are thoughts. They are not reality. They are not truth. They are thoughts. And that's what the mind does, as they used to talk about it as a monkey jumping around. And sometimes it's very inspiring, and we can get somewhere, but when we let it rule us, it becomes crazy. Yeah. So we can appreciate it, and we can use it, our mind's ways of thinking, and so, but also find a way to be able to put those aside and just be in stillness. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. And we can obviously train our ability to hear and see into this so-called invisible realms. Everyone can do that. But we should also do that in a slow manner. We can lose touch, especially if we have some scars in our way. Usually those who are personality types that are very grounded and not interested in these things, they could go all in and quite quickly develop these things if they wanted to. They seldom do though, so because they are already so grounded, so it wouldn't make them lose touch, with reality or so. But some people who are very drawn to these fields aren't all that, may be drawn there to kind of heal things, but try to do it in a little bit backwards way, or rush it, or so on. And that's not an advice to do so, because things change. Our whole perception of reality change. And when that happens very quickly, that can make you confused. That can actually make you mentally ill. So, yeah. So to do it gradually, and so it's nothing to fear. It's just also not to be rushed. Yeah. And so if you, for example, use crystals, you should never let them lay on your third or on your forehead or third eye unless you exactly know what they are doing. I've had for a while, when it was quite, I had some hematite, pretty strong one, magnetic one there for a while, and it actually calmed my mind, at night, and it was cooling in many ways. But I have never used much of crystal. Even when someone holds with their hand or the energy, it can really, really open and strengthen that area, and you should really be careful with that. That's the only chakra you need to take extra care if you work with energy methods like such. Yeah. So it's a very sensitive spot, let's say, or area. So the impressions or informations or vibrations that you connect to it can really cause a lot, also disturbances if it doesn't match well. So be very careful with that. But you can hold certain crystals related to that, or use certain incense or whatever tools you use to meditate or so. So you can hold them in your hands instead, or so on. That helps open up. Some people use oil and put some of it on this third eye. Did I say third chakra? I mean like sixth chakra, but third eye, yeah. Yeah. To connect to your inner vision. And also some rituals can be good to use just if you want to contain it a bit, if you feel that you want to open it. Usually, the suggestion from many who do this is to learn how to close it. It's like the best thing to learn that first before you learn to open it, because we all have it more or less open, and the most important thing is to know how to shut it off. But yeah, for example, if you want to use, if you then want to open it still gradually, you can use a certain space spot where you sit when you meditate and do this, or certain rituals that you always do some mudras with your hands, or you do something, use particular clothes, or you do certain things every time you are about to open this up. Then you won't always or randomly have it open, But you can use, for example, an amethyst. That's kind of mild and so. And if you have cleansed it and so on, if you cleanse it later, you can also hold it a little bit on your third eye if you feel good at doing so, or lay it there if you lay down. It can calm the mind and your thoughts, and also raise the vibrations with this violet light and those in this subtle energy center. So if you have if your thoughts are running around like crazy with you, then maybe that could be of help. And that's not really to open up so much as it is to calm down. But it can also help to have them close or hold them in your hands, so on. Carry it around with you or something. Yeah. And then it's the crown chakra, and then I will stop for now. It takes so long time when I talk. I drift. It's considered violet or white. I usually see it like as white lotus or something. But the crown chakra is then on top of the head. And there is where the flow of cosmic life force or contact with our higher selves comes in. So that you become aware of your identity as your greater consciousness, you can say. Higher self is a word that is sometimes very strange, but yeah. Where you know about the love of the universe and how it all works. So there you have a different kind of safety. So when you have connected to that, you can kind of use that knowledge. That's what I've done. I'm not saying that I'm all that connected, but I'm enough connected to that so that I can feel safe here, because I know nothing can shake that one, whatever happens, So it also gives me the courage to be more here physically in time and space. So yeah, here we are connected in this center, the crown chakra. We are connected to everything that is. Yeah. And it's like always a longing in humans to reconnect with this divine energy, if you call it that, or the source where we come from, our origin. It's like we always strive, like a flower strive upwards to the sun. We aim for that, more or less consciously. So, and you can balance this chakra if you sit comfortable and meditate and pull some take some deep breaths and pull this breath all the way way down through the spine. And then you can imagine a ball of bright light a bit above your head. And then you concentrate on the breathing and follow the rhythm in and out. And in and out. And after a while you let this bright light flow in through the crown chakra, and let this white light continue to, like a stream, to flow downwards and spread in all directions, so that it eventually fill up your whole body. And continue with this deep conscious breathing. And let it widen, let this brightness get wider, so you are like showered in this light. So even those energy fields outside of you, like in the aura, also get cleansed and balanced. So you can keep letting that flow keep going for as long as you want to. I know you can also let, if there is an excess of energy, you can let it go down to Mother Earth. And when you feel you are done, you can just think of it as if you close the flow from above there. So you don't keep that open all the time. It can be also kind of too much for some of us. Yeah. And after a while you slowly open your eyes and feel like balanced, harmonized and vitalized. So I hope at least you feel that way. So that was a little bit about the chakras. I will talk about the aura. That was actually my aim even yesterday and today. But I've said a bit that some basics about the chakras anyways, for you as a gift for this new year to come. And hopefully I will talk about more focused things here then. And not too much of my own experiences related to it though. Yeah. hope you got something out of this. I know many of these things are basics and you hear much of it everywhere or anywhere, but yeah, I just want to say my piece on this right now. So there is a lot more to be said about each of these, and obviously related to the Kabbalah. I'm getting there sooner or later. Yeah. Thanks for now.